start kneeling this morning. Kneeling's not for everybody, and some people find it quite pressured. If it's your ankles, then prop a tiny cushion, a flat cushion under it that you feel. If it's your knees, you can always either fold the mat, remember, or use a cushion under your knees. If it's the pressure of the weight of your body on your lower legs, then you can put a cushion there, or you can put a brick there, sometimes helps. I find that quite uncomfortable, but some people say to try the brick lower down towards your ankles. So 3 ways of propping there. If you really just don't like kneeling, choose another position to do this in. But we are going to be getting up and down in a little bit of a sequence with from kneeling. So you will need some padding at that point. Okay, so coming to our morning yoga. Yoga is today moving meditation. So just before we start, a little bit about the thought behind this. Yoga means union. And here we're trying to connect 3 or 4 of the limbs, 8-limbed path of yoga, which heads towards the 8th one being state of bliss. I'm not guaranteeing bliss this morning, but it's a moving meditation. It's not as traditional as the way we think of meditation, which is candle gazing or something very static. It's got the same traits, so we move inward and use the idea of closing off the chattering monkeys to move towards a calmer and centered mind. But here we're using body activity with it, which actually in the modern world is probably easier for us all to find forms of meditation through activities. I'll go into that a little bit more later. So the 3rd limb of the yoga path is Asana, which is what we do every day. So that's the moving part, our poses. Doesn't need to be a moving pose, but in this it is. Pranayama is the 4th one. We do that every time we're here, which is our breath control practice. The 5th one is called Pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. We do that every time we close our eyes, for instance. So drawing inwards, which we do a lot, body awareness, etc., the scans that we do, that's Pratyahara. The 6th one is Dharana, which is concentration, is a way of putting it. So once you've drawn inwards, you concentrate, for instance, in a body scan. And then Dhyana, the 7th one, is meditation itself. So we won't always reach that 7th state, but we're going to use those other ones to try and help us attain that sense of a calm and centered mind, really. Okay, so putting these into practice, first of all, thinking, we're already in a pose here, actually. So thinking of controlling the breath, the 4th limb, the pranayama. So just begin to slowly work with your breath. Begin to breathe in a little bit deeper, a little bit slower. Exhaling from that point, nice and gently, smoothly. And sort of building up to a slow count of 4 on your in-breath and a slow count of 4 on your exhale. So you might already have taken the 5th step, and closed your eyes. It may come naturally that when you start to work with the breath, you close your eyes and withdraw your senses. So if you haven't already, close your eyes. So what we're doing is stopping all, continue to breathe, just stopping all external stimulation from the visual side of things. Your hearing's still working because you're still listening to me, but we've withdrawn that visual stimulation by closing our eyes. So working a little bit more with the breath now. If it's comfortable, breathe in for 4. Take that little pause at the top and then exhale for 4. If you don't like the pause, then just go back to inhaling and exhaling. But otherwise, try to inhale for 4, pause for 2, then exhale for 4. So by pausing on the inhale, we're working more with the sympathetic nervous system, the active side of our nervous system. And because we're going to move in a minute, that's sort of starting to make the body react to what we're about to do and be ready for it. So breathing in for 4, pausing for 2, exhaling for 4, just a couple of times more. And then eyes still closed, let go of that breath practice. Just go back to your inhale for 4, exhale for 4. And add that little mantra that we used the other day there. So either something like, on the inhale, you might say lift, accept, expand, or one of those words, not all of them. On the exhale, you might say soften, give, or release. So lift and soften, accept and give, expand, release. So try to start to work with the breath and the mantra at the same time. And maybe if your legs are getting a little bit pressured here, you might want to start pushing through your feet, through your shins, through your knees, and just lifting a little bit, about an inch off your heels as you inhale, and then softening back down, taking the weight back through the lower leg and heels, etc. So just an inch or so, you're moving up on the inhale, and exhaling down. So lift and soften, accept and give, expand and release. Or another mantra that might work for you. So moving slightly and gently on the breath, with the breath, really starts to focus the mind. So now we're moving into that state of the 6th limb, Dharana, concentration, because it's multitasking. All multitasking isn't on the eighth limb path of yoga, though. We do it too quickly sometimes. Okay, so then let go of the breath. So before we move into the moving part, let's just come onto our hands, take our legs out a little bit and just shake your feet through, shake your lower legs through, give them a little bit of a rest from the pressure. And then come back to kneeling. As I say, if this isn't for you, you can sit on your bottoms and do the next part, a little bit of it anyway. When we have to move into low lunge, you'll have to change up a bit. But if this isn't good for you, or you can stay lifted and not sit down. Okay, so moving on to our moving part. Just do this bit to this front first of all, actually. So let's just, again, take control of the breath, close the eyes, and inhale when you're ready, lifting, sitting down still. We're not moving off our heels. We might come up that inch or so if you want. Hands come up above the head, turn the palms, exhale, take the breath down, take the body down, soften back down towards the ground. Take 2 more of those, inhaling, lifting just a little bit off the pressure on your lower legs, exhaling, softening, everything comes down, shoulders come down. 1 more. Feel your tummy having to get engaged here as you lift a little tiny bit. And then everything relaxing as you exhale. And the next 3, we lift up onto our knees. So just gently rolling up as we inhale, just expanding and extending, hands up above the head. If the arms get heavy at any point, just take them into Anjali Mudra, into prayer hands. Exhaling back down. 2 more, same thing. Inhaling, take it really slowly on the breath. Count the breath or use the mantras. The thighs will feel the work a lot more if you take it slowly. So if you're one of those people that wants a bit of physical fitness from yoga as well, which isn't wrong, then you'll feel, if you go a little bit slower, you'll really feel your thighs are having to switch on and work. Okay, come down to sitting. Any point your feet get sore, then please just shake them through. Remember, you can use the folded mat thing or a cushion as well. Okay, so sitting down still, we're going to take our side bends right and left. So when you're ready, inhale the right arm up, Exhale, armpit to hip on the right side. Sorry, I put the left arm up there. Armpit to hip on the opposite side. Inhale back up to the top. Exhale down. Remember that you're drawing downwards on the side body. Other side, you're taking armpit to hip rather than folding at the waist. So remember the other day we did that lift thing from the inner side. You're lifting through that side that's contracting as well as contracting. One more on each side. Using your hand on your thigh or something if you need a little bit of support. Watch that top elbow isn't falling forward, or that your body's not rolling forward. You want to be going sideways here rather than forwards or backwards. So concentrate on where your body's moving to and from. Next one, we're going to come up onto our knees and just stay kneeling this time. Take a bit of the pressure off. Same thing, side bodies. Inhaling up, exhaling. Armpit to knee now on that side you're thinking of. Inhaling back up to the top, exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling armpit to knee on the other side. Not really folding, the shoulders drawing downwards, more towards your knee rather than towards the floor. Take one more on each side. Still using our breath and mantra if you can. Lift and soften, accept and give, or expand and release. Staying up, we're going to take a roll now with that on the side bend. So inhale up, exhale over, inhale, roll that top shoulder just gently to open your face up towards that top corner. Exhale forward, inhale up, and exhale down. Same thing other side, inhale up, exhale armpit to knee. Inhale, top elbow, top shoulder rolls back and opens that chest on that side. Keep your tummy engaged. Roll forward. Inhale up, use your knees and your feet to lift you back up. And exhale down. Take one more either side, just on your own, moving with the breath if you can. So take it really slowly. Your mind will try and make you steam ahead. Take it really slowly. Feel every little muscle moving and opening. No halts, no stutters, no stops. Just a fluid movement. Keep the eyes closed if you're comfortable. If you can't close your eyes and the balance isn't there, then just half close your eyes. And find a focal point that you can stare at. Sorry, I forgot the roll there. My mind's still moving ahead and I'm not actually able then to get to that concentration point when I'm doing this. Much easier when you're doing it without talking. Okay. So then take your hands to the floor, take your legs back, have a little stretch out of one leg and then the other. Pressing through the heel, opening up the sole of the foot that we did the other day, the plantar fascia. Opening up the back of the knee. Don't lock the knee, but try and straighten the leg. Lift a little bit more at your hip flexor. Take a couple of those just to get the legs back, the circulation back through. Don't want to stop that. And then I'm going to turn to the side now, and we're going to take a little bit of a sequence using those movements we've just done, and then adding a bit to it. Okay, so when you're ready, inhaling. Lifting the arms up, lifting up onto your knees, raising up, expanding, lifting. Exhaling, releasing, sitting back down again. This time we're staying up and we're side bending. Inhaling up. Exhaling the arms down, but we stay up on our knees. Doing this all in the breath if we can. Inhaling the left arm up, keep that tummy engaged. Exhaling. When you're ready, over to the side, just a side bend this one, inhaling back up to the top, exhaling the arm down, still up on our knees, Inhaling, other side bend. Armpit to knee, remember, top elbow stays back. Inhaling back up to the top. Exhale the arm down. And as you do, then just gently allow yourself to go down to seated. Coming back up when you're ready, inhaling the arms up. At the top, we stay up. The arms come down on the exhale. We're going to take that side bend and roll on either side. So inhale it, left arm up. Exhale, armpit to hip. Inhale, roll that back elbow, back shoulder, and open up towards the top corner. Exhaling, rolling forward, staying in the side bend, but then lifting on your inhale back up to the top. Exhaling down, staying up on your knees, taking it on the other side, inhaling. Use your breath, work with the breath, make it an even, smooth, slow movement. Inhaling, rolling when you're ready up at the top, opening up that upper chest on that side. Exhaling forward, inhaling, use your knees and your feet to lift you as high as you can. Exhaling, take everything back down to seated. Hands coming into Anjali Mudra. When you're ready on your next inhale, we're going to lift up, take the arms up above the head and just expand from your knees up to your fingertips on the inhale. Sit back down on the exhale, very slowly taking the hands past your face. Eyes still closed if you can, just feel them moving past. One more of those, inhaling, rolling up. Really good for the knees this. You're feeling a bit creaky this morning. And remember, you can stay up, you don't need to keep sitting up and down. Rolling back down if you're doing that. At the bottom, we're going to stay kneeling, and or you can stay up if you'd rather. We're just going to take a cat roll forward. So inhaling, lifting, and then exhaling. Hands are at heart center. We're rolling forward, but not too low down the back. Remember, it's upper body. Keep that tummy engaged to support the lower back. On the exhale, inhale from the bottom of you upwards. So you're bowing in effect. Take one more of those. Inhaling at the top, remember to find that length in the spine before you exhale and roll. Up to the top. I'm going to take two more of those as a movement, but this time we're going to go for the cow back at the top, so a little bit more of an opening back bend. Don't go too far though. If you're happy just expanding, then do so. When you're ready, inhale, take the arms up above the head, roll the heart forward if you're coming with me, look upwards, take the hands back out your peripheral vision, exhaling, rolling down and coming through into that cat back as you kneel. So rolling forward, be careful of your lower back here, please. Keep your tummy engaged. Rolling back up into your opening back bend. Take the elbows back. If you're not doing this and you're just expanding, lift as high as you can. Lowering down, legs as well if you're doing it, coming down into that really bowing sensation there. Take one more. Eyes closed, rolling through yourself, feeling that constant movement, concentrating on what you're doing, noticing every twitch in your knees as you move, noticing what's happening with your back body as you roll forward, coming back up, hands to heart center, just kneeling. Step the right foot forward now so that you've got a 90 degrees at the back knee and under the front knee. We're going to take 3 lifts here with the hands at heart center. You can do the back bend or just expand, whichever you'd rather. When you're ready, inhaling, taking the hands up. Back bending if you're comfortable, but there's quite a lot of balance. If you can keep your eyes closed here, do so. If you're finding that hard, as I say, concentrate on a single point ahead of you with your eyes half open so that the visual stimulation from a roundabout is narrowed. Using both your feet here to really connect to the ground, to stay grounded like we did the other day there. Take one more. Noticing the feet moving, all the little bones and muscles holding you in place. Step the front foot back. take a seat, kneeling, have a little rest. This time we're going to step a little bit further forward and come into low lunge. So stepping forward with the right foot, same foot, but a little bit further forward and coming into a low lunge. If that's not for you and you want to stay back here, then please do. Same thing, but this time maybe opening the hands as you take them up and open. Opening up your arms and hands up above your head, drawing them back down through into Anjali Mudra. 3 more of those. Inhaling, opening. Maybe opening the eyes just as you look up, and then closing them again as you draw the hands back down. Still working with that nice, slow, even, long breath. Maybe still working with your mantras. Bring the hands back down. Step the front foot back. Sit down, have a little rest of the thighs. Going to step forward into low lunge again here. And then we're going to move our hands to the floor, just so you know what you're doing. So those of you that are going to stay kneeling on the back leg might need to bring your bricks in. So inhaling up, stepping that right foot forward again into low lunge, so moving your hips forward, taking the hands down then to the floor, keeping the right hand on the outside of the right foot. We're going to inhale and open up that arm outwards, the left arm upwards, and look up at the same time. So if that's a bit strong for you, keep your elbow in, keep your hand on your waist, and just roll that shoulder like we did in the side bends. So take 2 more of those. Inhaling, if you can, do that big semicircle with the arm and lift and open. Using your mantra. My eyes have opened here naturally. Try one with your eyes closed if you can. Proprioception here, watching where things are going without actually seeing. And then bring hand back down. Step that right foot back and take yourself back and into child's pose. So bring in your brick if you need to. Bring your head down, but keep your bottom down on your heels. Come down and take 3 to 5 breaths, focusing on your breath and your mantra again. And notice in the stillness of the body how it's not quite so easy to contain that mind. So the movement nowadays, we're so used to moving all the time that sometimes it's easier to meditate through movement. Just releasing through the back of the body, through the shoulders. Still a little bit of pressure on the thighs and the knees. When you're ready, coming up again and sitting down onto your knees. We'll take the sequence with the low lunge sequence there with the other side now. So hands to heart center, raising up. Exhaling the arms down, staying up and kneeling, hands to heart center again. Stepping forward with the left foot just into your easy low lunge here. So, and then take 3 lifts. Eyes closed if you can. If you find that difficult, remember your drishti point. Really working with the breath. If you're finding you're wobbling, watch that you're definitely on the train tracks here, that your legs are in line with your hips and they haven't come too close, so that if you're in a sort of tightrope, then you will wobble and fall. So widen the stance a little bit if it helps. Bringing the hands down one last time to heart center, stepping back with that front foot, sitting down, taking a breath. Then moving forward a little bit further into low lunge. Taking the movements with the arms again and opening up. Hands in Anjali Mudra or opening up if you'd rather here. If you feel you want to really salute by opening the hands up. Raising up, looking with your eyes closed if you can. Take 1 more. Bringing the hands back down to Anjali Mudra, stepping back, taking your kneeling rest. Stepping forward again into low lunge. If you're in a shorter version of low lunge, bring your bricks in. Hands come to the floor. Left hand is on the floor beside your left foot. We're going to open up in the next 3 breaths. So when you're ready, inhaling, right arm comes up, or you just turn your shoulder with your hands at your waist if you'd rather. Take 2 more on the breath. Keep that tummy lifted, keep the feet engaged. Allow the head maybe to look round behind with your upwards with you. Hand comes back to the floor, and the last one, step that foot back. Bring yourself this time into wide leg child's pose and rest down to the floor again, or onto a brick or onto your arms. Try and keep that bottom down though, and not the head down and the bottom up. And find your breath and switch on your parasympathetic nervous system. So when we're not moving, taking long deep breaths helps us to move towards the calming side of the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system. So it slows us down, slows down your breath, or your breath rather, will help to slow down your body's systems. So your heart rate will come down, your blood pressure will therefore come down. Your mind will settle a little bit more. You feel a bit cooler. Just while you're resting for the last couple of breaths here, we're going to move up in a second. We're going to take 2 roll-ups and roll-downs. Please take this slowly. Please bend your knees because we haven't really worked through this. This is working towards Bitilasana, forward fold, but it's a forward fold here with your knees softly bent. So after your next exhale, move your hands in, turn your knees forward, tuck your toes and roll up onto your balls of your feet. Walk your hands in, come to a really low squat. And then gently, as you roll your heels down, moving up into a really soft forward fold. Do it really slowly with your eyes closed if you can. And then we're going to slowly roll up by trailing the hands up the legs. So don't worry too much about your breath because it may not be long enough here to take you up. But keep your eyes closed if you can. Keep those feet connected and grounded. Rolling up to the top, slowly stacking the vertebrae as you come up. Opening up your shoulders, taking them onto the back of the body, opening up your palms to the side into Tadasana, reaching up through your crown from your feet. And then starting to tuck your chin and starting to roll back down again. If anybody feels dizzy, please open your eyes. That's the first thing. And stay up if you don't want to take another roll up and down. If you're not feeling it this morning, then please don't do it. Otherwise, roll down slowly, hands trailing, down as far as you're comfortable. Don't need to go right to the floor. If you can, then that's fine. As you come up, straightening up through the legs, tucking the tail, opening up through the spinal column, rolling the shoulders back, opening up the palms, spreading the web of the fingers, lifting up through your crown, tucking that chin again. And if you've got your eyes open, that's fine. If you want to open them, that's fine. If you can stay with them closed, that's fine. Wherever you are, just stand here in Tadasana. Keep it an active Tadasana if you can. And just breathe. 2 or 3 breaths here in a resting pose still. And then walk carefully forward to your mat if you're not already at the short side at the front of it. We're going to do a variation of Sun Salutation, a deconstructed Sun Salutation this morning. So we won't be doing plank and we won't be doing cobra. You'll be pleased to know. Okay, so at the front of the mat, in Tadasana, inhale, take the arms up above the head. Exhale, if you're comfortable, swan dive down into forward fold. If you're not, roll down again into forward fold. Take the arms down to the feet or beside the feet or onto your shins, and then reach out into half fold. So I'm not doing it on the breath this time, but we will the next time. Exhaling back into forward fold, and then pushing through the feet. Now, roll up if you need to, but otherwise sweeping up. Arms come up above the head, hands to heart, Anjali Mudra, and draw them down to heart center. So let's do that one on the breath. Inhale the arms up above the head, eyes closed if you're comfortable. Exhale, sweeping, swan diving down into forward fold. Maybe your legs can open a little bit more now. Put your hands to where you need them. Inhale into half fold. Exhaling, rolling forward into forward fold. Inhaling, sweeping or rolling up from wherever you are. You don't need to go fully down to the floor in either pose if you don't feel like it. Exhaling, arms down to heart center. One more time, this time thinking more about the position in half fold. Arms up, sweep down. So as you go into half fold, think of a long, straight front body. Draw out through the crown, draw out through the tail, suck up the belly. Exhale back into forward fold. Take one more half fold. So inhale, lengthen, tailbone to crown. But don't stick the chin out. Exhale, rolling down to forward fold. Inhale, sweeping up. If your eyes are closed and you're fine, that's good. But if you're not, open your eyes, look along the floor. Please don't make yourself dizzy with this eye closing. Some of us feel a little bit wonky when we do that. Hands come down to the side. We're back into Tadasana. Okay, so inhaling, arms up above the head. Exhaling, sweeping down into forward fold. We're taking in low lunge in this round. Inhaling into half fold. Opening up the back of the legs a little bit more each time. Exhaling into forward fold. Hands to the floor, step back with your right foot. Come into your version of low lunge. Hands are still on the floor. We're doing this a couple of times, so just be ready. We're going to take either hands to heart center, hands to thighs, or hands above the head here, whichever version you want. If you feel it's better just opening with your hands on your thighs, then that's fine. If you just want to stay for the breath in heart center, that's fine. If you want to come with me and lift and open, that's fine. Okay, so starting with your hands on the floor, decide which you're going to do, and it's going to be 3 breaths in this side of low lunge. So coming with me, I'm going to raise up, inhaling, opening up, really using the feet to propel and ground you at the same time. Opening up, exhaling, taking the arms back down, reaching forward in a big semicircle and bringing the hands back to the floor. If your hands are on your thighs, you're just doing the same movement, just not quite so strong in your lower back. So that's a bit benefit if you have a lower back issues. Reaching forward, finding that semicircle if you can. One more time, reach up into that back bend, really pushing through the back foot as well as the front foot. And back down, hands to the floor. Step back now into down dog if you can. If you can't, you might have to kneel and come up to down dog, but otherwise raise up on the back ball of the back foot and step the foot back and you'll come into down dog. So in down dog, just walk the dog a couple of times. Eyes closed again, still if you can. Half closed if you're more comfortable. And then walk the feet forward to the hands. You might have to bend your knees a little bit more as you come forward. Hands still to the floor. So you really have to soften the knees to keep the hands on the floor maybe. And then walk the feet back again into down dog. See if you can release the heels towards the floor. Lift up through your tummies, push through your hands, lift up through your hips. It's about the upper body this, so if your knees need to stay bent and your heels off the floor, don't worry. Keep that long front body. Head can just hang, though it doesn't need to be involved. And then walk the feet or jump the feet if you can forward into forward fold. Bunny hop. Well, and then when you're ready, open the eyes, everybody, this time. We've been down in inversion for quite a while. So open your eyes, look along the floor, really sink the knees, or the bottom rather, and then slowly moving up. Take your time, move up, hands above the head, and then gently draw the hands back down through heart center. Come into Tadasana again, take a breath. Do that on the other side. Okay, so let's try this one a little bit more on the breath if we can. Excuse me. Inhale, take the arms up above the head. Exhale, arms come down. Take one more, and this time we'll sweep down into forward fold. Inhale, arms up above the head, lift, expand. Exhale, give, release, roll down into your forward fold. Get ready for half fold then, lift out into half fold, open up the front body. Exhale into forward fold, hands come to the floor, stepping back with the left foot this time, is that right? Yep. And put into a low lunge. 3 lifts when you're ready of any variation. Inhale up. Exhale down. Ooh, a bit wobbly on this side, tells me I'm not in the right stance. Inhale up. Big semicircle with the fingertips if you're lifting. If you're raising up with your hands on your thighs, then just think of opening up that heart as you do so. And then rolling back down, maybe into a cat back as you come back down. Just moving, mobilizing the spine is the idea here. Hands come down to the floor, step back again into down dog. This time in down dog, if you can, move into your left foot, raise up your right foot, come into split dog. We're not doing anything with it, we're just staying in split dog, lifting through that lower foot and reaching through the toes. And then bring that foot down. Try that with the other leg. Lift through the standing foot, point through the back foot, push through the hands, lengthen through the front body. See if you can drop that back heel a little bit. And then drop that foot down. Walk the hands or bunny hop forwards. And then raise up slowly. Take your time, open your eyes, raise up really slowly up to the top. Head below the heart is an inversion. That can make you feel dizzy if you come up too quickly, so take your time. And then come back to Tadasana in your own time and rest. And then we're going to come down to the floor in a minute just to finish off, but take a few moments here in Tadasana first of all. If your eyes are closed and you're feeling a little bit wobbly, widen your legs a little bit more. Don't just do hip distance, go a little bit wider. Open the eyes to half open if you still feel a little bit wobbly. See if you can relax the shoulders down the back of the body. Tuck that tailbone under. Tuck that chin and lengthen through your crown. And find your breath and your mantra again. Take 3 breaths using the mantra. So lift and soften, accept and give, or expand and release, or your own words. And really focus on the exhale. So make it a really long exhale if you can. Feel the weight move back down from your body into your feet, into the ground. And then we're going to roll down and come down to child's pose with a brick under your head, everybody. If you'd like to stop in ragdoll, then please do. If you're already not feeling it too great after all this up and down, then please just go straight down and into child's pose. Those of you that want to come with me into ragdoll, we roll down like a slow roll down, coming down to the point of your forward fold, and then just take your hands in elbows rather in either hand. So make a square shape with your arms, in other words. And just hang there for a moment and maybe rock gently from side to side. And if you can, close your eyes and do so. If you need them open, then please do. Those that have gone down into child's pose, just enjoy the breath. Just enjoy the opening of the back body and the softening. Those that are in ragdoll, don't worry, you'll still get a couple of breaths in child's pose. So in ragdoll, pop your hands to the floor, come down and find your child's pose. Take whichever child's pose you want, but try, pop a brick under your head, everybody, just to give you that little bit of softness through the back of the body, not quite so big an expanse there. Elbows can be under your shoulders, or you can tuck your hands round behind you to your feet if it's available. It's quite a pressure on your forehead that way, but you might find it quite nice on your third eye area. Maybe you can just roll the head from side to side. Let the shoulders fall away and open across the back of the body. So what happens when you go into this position? Do you find your mind coming back into it? Do you find it difficult when you're not moving to actually stop and move towards meditation? It's all about getting to know yourself. It's not about judging. It's about getting to know what works for you best. So then coming down onto our backs when you're ready, take your time moving up and rolling down, come down onto your back. Feet flat to the floor. We're going to take figure of 4 this morning. So feet flat to the floor, left foot comes up, crosses across the top of the thigh. Try not to make it bone on bone here. Try to find soft tissue. Flexing the left foot and finding that figure of 4 shape. The closer your other foot is to your bottom on the floor, then the more you'll get from this stretch through the hips. The further away, the more easeful it is. So you decide which you prefer. If you want a little bit more still, you can lift that bottom leg up and hold the thigh. But we're not here for very long. And that will give you a sort of pigeon sensation through that left hip. But try to keep the shoulders relaxed this morning and the head down, so don't lift up into hedgehoggy feeling. And then release that foot down if it's up, untangle the cross leg and bring it in and give yourself a nice squeeze in half Apanasana. So stretch the other leg away, the right leg, and hold the left leg in half Apanasana. Just find your breath again, take 2 or 3 breaths here. And then release that leg down to the floor gently. Have a stretch away with it. Open up through that hip flexor. And then bring that foot in and swap over to the other side. So your figure of 4 first of all on the other side. Remember to flex that foot that's folded. It keeps the knee from torquing. And if you want to bring the foot in closer, or if you want to raise it up for a couple of breaths, and do so. You'll feel the difference when you lift it off the floor. Your hands can help your thigh to stay up there, but try not to put too much pressure through your shoulders and neck. Nice stretch though through I think it's the piriformis, one of the big 6 muscles that goes through your hip joint. Deep 6 they call them. The 3 of them are opening, I can feel. Okay, so then lower the leg to the floor. Bring your right leg into half Apanasana this time. Stretch the left leg away. Feel that opening through the left hip flexor and the compression through the right hip flexor. So body awareness here is part of our meditation. Being aware of what's happening and what you're doing to your body, not just moving through the world, helps you to really focus inwards and center on yourself and find that state moving towards meditation. Bring that foot to the floor. Have a stretch through your right leg. Bring both legs in then. Last movement, last pose, last asana, last of our 3rd limb. Oh no, it's not actually. We're doing something else. Bring the hands to the knees in Apanasana and then just take some hip circles in one direction, then the other when you're ready. So just releasing through your hips. as big a circle as you are comfortable doing, keeping that pelvis flat on the floor, being aware of what's happening in that part of your body, knowing when you've hit the edge. Make sure you do both directions with the circles. Maybe you can feel your shoulders coming into it as well, opening up through your shoulder girdle. Bit of a massage through your back at the same time here. And then lower the feet to the floor one at a time to save your SI joints. Take your legs away from you and find yourself in Shavasana. This is our last pose for the day. So Shavasana is a pose. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Draw yourself inwards. Focus again on your breath. And this time see if you can inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. So expanding the exhale, switching on that parasympathetic nervous system, slowing our heart down, lowering our blood pressure, bringing ourselves back into that calm state. So yoga, remember, means union, connection is one translation. So here connecting the asana of Shavasana to our breath, to a sense withdrawal with our eyes closed, and moving towards that state of bliss through meditation. Moving meditation can benefit us in this busy old world that we live in now. Traditional meditation is sometimes hard for people to reach. Moving meditation, so it can be walking, it can be swimming, cycling, gardening, ironing even. Just something that takes the mind into a state of calmness, switches off that constant action of the mind. So every day you are taking part in moving meditation. The point is, when you do it every day, to try and do it a little bit more mindfully for the extra benefits. So take a couple of breaths, and when you're ready, moving up to finish class in Sukhasana. Oh, another pose that we're doing. We're still in that state of union, bringing ourselves up to finish in Sukhasana, easy pose, cross-legged. A traditional pose, to remember this is a traditional thing that we're doing. It's an ancient practice, but the ancient practice can be adapted. It doesn't always have to be as stated 2,000 years ago, because life moves on and things change. So it's finding what works for you, really. Close your eyes one last time, hands to heart center, and just feel how you feel now. Does it feel different? Do you feel that you've come towards that state of bliss by getting on your mat this morning? Hopefully, yes. Thank you, everybody, for taking part in our moving meditation of yoga. See you next week back in the UK. Namaste.